just gonna keep sliding off my head.
The struggle. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
A spatula and everything.
I know. This is for audio listeners, I'm SpongeBob. But
Yes.
this is one of my least complicated cosplays that I've ever put together, but it's also one of my favorites. Because in my personal opinion, it's adorable. It's super comfortable. I have yet to actually take this to a convention, but I'm totally going to, because I based it off of the Broadway version of SpongeBob, but it's super recognizable, even if you're just for someone who's never seen that. I even have the correct socks. I love it. And I think if I just maybe got a little Krusty Krab, I made a Krusty Krab hat. Oh my god. Yeah, and I can carry that around.
I wish he still worked.
Big sad. Oh, and this is the mug I got at SpongeBob SquarePants on Broadway. Love that show so much.
Oh, no, I was reading the book.
It says manager material. Have I made you listen to that soundtrack yet?
You know what? I don't think that one, no.
That's alarming. Oh, you want to hear something cute? Kyle still thinks he has a choice as to whether or not he listens to the American Psycho soundtrack.
Yeah, that's very silly.
Isn't it? I'm such a pain in the ass.
So naive. So early on. It's too early. He'll learn.
He'll learn. But yes, welcome. It's our Halloween episode. So everything's about Halloween and spooky stuff and ghosts and all that amazing stuff today. So I'm sure excited.
I put so much effort into this. I actually got out a step stool so I could look in a box on the top shelf of my closet to find these ears that I haven't seen in years that run.
That counts. That's effort. I mean, all I did. Yeah. This was low effort to put together in the first place, and this was extremely low effort for me for today because all I had to do was dig through a bin in my closet.
But what's really fun about them though, because again I hadn't seen them in years, but I was like, I know I have a pair of cat ears in this box somewhere with my other I have 3 costumes that I rotate because I'm lazy. I have the Waldo one, which I wore last Halloween episode, and I have a pirate one, and I have Little Red Riding Hood, and those are the only 3 costumes I have.
I mean, they all count.
Yeah, but I forgot, I feel like these are the hooker version of cat ears. Because...
No, okay, I was about to say, it's giving me the, I'm a mouse, duh.
It's got the, kind of boa.
Yeah.
And this part is leather.
Ooh. Again, it's the, what do they call, there's a word for it in Mean Girls where, Halloween's an excuse to dress up to be a slut. Which, if you're, first of all, if you're going to be slutty any day of the year, good for you. And also, have fun. Wear your lingerie and cat ears, damn it.
Yeah. I don't remember where I got these. I've had them forever.
So you've never had a Mean Girls moment of lingerie and cat ears?
No. I did dress as a sex worker one year for Halloween. Of course, at the time we referred to it as a hooker, but that's not really, no longer really appropriate. Because some cute guy at school said that he was gonna go, out on Halloween with me and this friend of ours as our pimp, and we were supposed to be...
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Yeah. I have this red snakeskin dress. Anyway.
You have... Okay, we need to talk about this later.
Leather. Actually, it was leather.
Yeah, no. When I was there... I've seen some questionable Halloween costumes just as a child because the conversation had not gotten that far yet socially. Just white girls going as Pocahontas and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah. Well, we just didn't understand at the time. I just thought she was a pretty princess, and because I wanted to be Pocahontas, I never got to.
Well, and that's the thing. When I was 9, I think I got a Halloween store kimono and went as a geisha, which is so fucked up in retrospect.
Yeah. But when you're a kid, you're just ooh,
pretty red silk dress.
Yeah.
That's what I saw. I was ooh, I get to wear I wore flip-flops, of course. So I was ooh, I get to wear flip-flops in this pretty red silk robe. I was so here for it. And then looking back, I was oh my god.
but it was very pure and innocent. You know, it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, but so there we go. There's my one quote unquote cancelable offense out in the open.
I tried to go for peak autumnal vibes with the last pod glass
I
and
absolutely love it.
apple cider.
The only reason I'm not drinking cider right now is because this is the first good cup of tea I've had all day, because on my way to work this morning I forgot to stop and pick up milk, so I just had to drink black tea with like a shit ton of sugar in it, and it was disgusting, but a bitch has a caffeine addiction to feed. So that was my day. But other than that, well, actually, since we're kind of on the topic of Halloween costumes, talking about our past mistakes.
Seconds after I admitted that I dressed as a hooker for Halloween one year, I regretted it immediately.
It happens to the best of us. Let's take it in the opposite direction. What are your dream Halloween costumes? And in parentheses for this question, I have money is no object, and you personally don't have to do any work if you don't want to, because I know you don't like putting stuff together, but putting stuff together is very, very fun for me. So I would like to do the work. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Because someday I will drag you to a convention. I do not give a shit if I have to do every single one of your costumes for you. I will do it. All you have to do is show up.
That's fine with me. I just don't have the time nor the inclination
Nope,
to
I'll do it. I'll do it all. It'll be so much fun for me.
I mean, I got the whole, it's on out of frame now, but my sewing machine back here on my craft table and all that.
I will bring any and all fabric I need, do all the sewing at your place. We'll go to, like, Rochester Comic Con or something. It'll be freaking great.
Oh, you just missed Flower City Comic Con like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm signed up for the Albany Comic Con and the Saratoga Comic Con. Saratoga, I will be entering my first ever cosplay contest.
Nice.
So wish me luck, because holy shit, I'm gonna need it.
Is that the one you're going as Nadja?
Yes! Which is what I'm doing for actual Halloween. Shocker.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And then for Albany Comic Con, I'm going as Wirt from Over the Garden Wall.
Yes,
and I'm making his cape myself. That is my way of... I'm stepping up my cosplay skills by actually learning how to sew and getting real stage makeup, which is terrifying because I know nothing about real makeup. So this is very 0 to 100 for me. But I'm trying. I am trying. But yeah, what are some dream costumes? And I mean, I reuse everything for conventions, so cosplays, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at least for
me.
I
did not get what you were saying. I don't know why. Man, I don't know what would be... I think that's also the other major reason I don't really do costumes, is like, I'm always short on ideas.
Fascinating. I have an endless list in my mind. One of the big ones is Elphaba from Wicked, which is kind of simple, but if I had like a shit ton of time and money and like, you know, I could do whatever, I would actually like, you know, get like the like Broadway quality like makeup and like learn how to contour like underneath it so that my like so it's not just like I'm like completely like washed out by like the flat green makeup. And like her dress in the musical, it's not just like plain black fabric, it's like this really pretty like it almost reminds me of like snakeskin, but not quite. It's got all these like iridescent threads running through it and like it's so pretty. So like I would do that. I would do like actual stage quality Elphaba. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could always think... it's hard to pick, like, here would be a dream one, but I could think of things that would be like, that'd be cool, like...
I mean, go for it. I can do that too, don't you worry.
But... I feel like so many of the things that I like... I'd be like, oh, okay, I would do a costume of that because it's the thing I enjoy. I would then just spend all my time explaining to people who I was.
That really is the struggle. Nobody, not a single person when I went to New York City Comic Con dressed up as Audrey Horne, no one knew who I was. Not a single person. But it did get me some free stuff because this guy had this prize wheel. He had this booth that was like, you know, just a bunch of like vintage comics and like old posters and stuff. And he had this prize wheel, and it was like, oh, you could pay a couple bucks to spin it. I was like, you know what, dude? I'll spin it if you can guess who I am. And he couldn't guess. So I won a big stack of free comic books.
There you go. That's where you use it to your advantage,
Yeah,
I guess.
but yeah, not a single person knew who I was. I was like, damn, really? That was
Yeah.
kind of big sad.
For some reason, one of the first things that popped in my head was Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I think people would definitely know that.
Well, her hair changes a
Yeah,
few
but
times.
still, that's a very distinctive haircut.
Yeah.
Like that's a wig people are going to recognize, I would think.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm just gonna cut my hair and dye it like that.
I was this close to shaving my own head in a New York City hotel bathroom because I was dressing up as 11 the next day. Don't underestimate what people will do for cosplay. People do it.
But the fun thing is, I could totally wear like rollerblades
Oh, hell yes.
and skate around just holding a package because then kind of works.
That would be so bomb. No, and that would totally. Like, I've seen people do stuff like that at Comic Con. You could totally pull that off.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That was, for some reason, that was just the first thing that came to my head.
And I mean, obviously, if I have like unlimited time and money, I would like get one that like I would just do Naja, but step it up even further. Just like some of the like recreate some of the actual like handmade specifically for that show stuff that she wears instead of just like piecing. Like what I've done is like I was like, oh, I got this like Victorian style blouse and like a skirt and like like a red silk scarf and like it looked like, in my personal opinion, looks really good. But like that blue dress that she's wearing in the episode with Gail where they're like out playing kickball in the snow. Oh my god. Like,
But yeah.
I'd get that made for me.
So I had a thought that I wasn't sure if I should say it out loud because so I just texted it to you and you can tell me.
I'm like afraid. No. You know, I sent him a tweet the other day that was like, "Short King, stay inside. It's a little windy today."
Yeah, you sent me the screenshot.
I'm putting this out in a public forum right now. If Kyle ever breaks up with me, it's because he's had enough. That's why. You should say that, because that's funny.
Oh, would it be bad?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
I send him every single Short King joke that I can find, and he hasn't dumped me yet.
Because I was thinking about, your when you were specifically mentioning some of the like custom made dresses that Nadja has, and of course how Nadja Doll has like the same one. They have matching dresses, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And I was like, oh, it'd be cool if you could get somebody to like dress as Nadja Doll and have like the doll makeup, and try to look like a doll. And I was like, oh, but ideally it'd be somebody smaller. And then you have a boyfriend who's shorter than you are.
I do indeed.
And he has long hair.
He does have long hair. Actually, speaking of my boyfriend who's shorter than I am, this has nothing to do with the fact that he's shorter than I am. It only has to do with the fact that he's a guy. Have you ever had to be the person to put makeup on a man for the first time?
No.
They are impossible to deal with.
Huh.
Like the fear in their eyes when you're trying to put mascara on them.
Are you talking about for Rocky Horror?
I'm talking about for Rocky Horror.
Yeah, I noticed he was wearing makeup in the picture you sent.
Yeah, no, he did not. I did not get to do as complicated as I liked because he could not keep his face still.
That was his first time wearing makeup?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's fun.
So I mean, aside from a school play in
yeah,
middle school.
Yeah, but that's different. That's just like stage makeup.
Yeah. It didn't go great. I wanted to get a lot more complicated than I was actually able to.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Or just putting makeup on anyone who's never worn it before, especially eye makeup. They're like,
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever done that before.
It's interesting.
I probably played with makeup with my friends when I was a kid or something, But I don't think as an adult or even a teenager.
Yeah. I've been the person to do that several times because of the Rocky Horror Picture Show and the fact that my friends and I in high school went to them pretty regularly.
I would be way too nervous to do any other person's eye makeup, like especially something like eyeliner.
Yeah, no, I was that I wasn't gonna. I can hardly do that's the thing. I can hardly do eyeliner on myself.
Yeah,
Like everything else, I'm vaguely competent, but like
yeah.
no, I don't think I can do that to another person. But yeah, I have so many I have so many cool ones I can think of. I know that I'm gonna try to put together a Chihiro from Spirited Away for next year's New York City Comic Con because
Hmm.
Kyle wants to put together like a big like no face, but like it would involve like PVC and like things sitting on shoulders and getting really complicated.
My apologies. These have to come off. My head is killing me.
I'll allow it.
No, it's still flying through the air.
You
Um,
tried.
you would be fun. Jeff the Talking Mongoose.
That would be
Nobody.
genius. No one would know. Absolutely not a single person would know. But God, that'd be a fun day for you. You could carry around like a little bike horn.
Yeah,
Honk
yeah.
honk.
I would just keep saying Hong Kong.
Love it.
Yeah, see, that's what I said. Like everything that pops in my head would often require explanation.
Interesting.
Because like one of the first things I do is start like scanning my head for like TV shows and movies that I really enjoy and what would be a character from one of those things that I would want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it tends to be stuff that's not watched as often.
The struggle.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the kind of weird ones I would like to put together at some point is you know how in Rick and Morty on the Citadel they have like the guards
Mm-hmm.
that have like the uniform that has the weird art. Like I want to do like a Citadel of Rick's guard Morty. Nobody would like. I mean, people would probably figure it out based on like the logo, but I think it'd be fun. Just for
Yeah.
no other reason. I just think it'd be kind of fun. And I have like a foam Rick and Morty blaster that I got at like Comic Con in 2018, I think. So, fun little prop.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's one where people might not entirely get it, but like people would definitely know, I think, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the problem with a lot of costumes is like sometimes the people you want to dress up as just dress like people.
Mm,
You know, and it's like people they don't know if you're wearing a costume or if you're just that's how you dress.
yeah.
You know.
Hmm. Oh, it would be fun to be. This would be another one where I'd have to rope Kyle in, but Sophie and Howl from Howl's Moving Castle, and you could get nuts. But actually, I would want to be Howl. But like the blonde version of him in the beginning of the movie with that sick ass cape. Oh my god. God, that'd be so much fun.
Mm. Yeah.
Are you pretending you know what I'm talking about?
No. Don't you remember we actually started to watch it?
Yeah, I know. I didn't remember how quickly you fell asleep.
I can't help it. I get so tired.
No, it happens. Oh, this is one I would really love to do, but it requires more friends that live close to me. Although I suppose if we're not talking about money, then I could just have people come in. I want to do the Beatles, but the Yellow Submarine Beatles.
Oh.
That I think would be super fun, and you could get really creative with your makeup.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen it, but I've seen plenty of imagery.
Oh my god, yeah. I've seen someone on TikTok who does a cosplay of one of the Beatles. I think it's Ringo from Yellow Submarine, and it's really cool because they like, they put together the suit and everything, and it looks pretty like, it's, all those same colors and everything. So it's like pretty psychedelic looking, but it's like a normally tailored suit. But then they have this really cool just like eyeliner thing going on to kind of make their face look a little more cartoony. It's super cool, and I think that'd be fun. And I would want a whole group of friends to do it with me. Thank you very much.
Oh, I actually have had. I don't know why I just thought of this. I had two costumes in mind that I wanted to do forever, but when I was younger,
Do
I never
tell.
got to.
Oh, when I was a kid, I wanted to be Wonder Woman for Halloween so bad.
Well, when I say younger, I'm talking kind of like college.
Okay, hit me with it still.
So one of them is Carmen Sandiego from
Nice.
because you get to wear the cool hat and like the trench coat,
I love it.
and you can just keep your hat, pull it over your face the whole night. It's a good time. and the other is Rufio from Hook.
Nice.
Because I want
The mohawk.
and then I would go around and like insist people chant Rufio at me all the time.
Hell yeah. I love it. No, what was I saying? Oh my god, what was I saying? I was literally just saying words. I wanted to be Wonder Woman so goddamn bad as a child. But,
In your Marlon you or
yeah, because, it's cold
um,
on Halloween. But I wanted to be Wonder Woman for Halloween so bad. And that's a fun thing about Halloween as an adult, because even if it is going to be cold, you can just choose to suffer.
yeah.
And, sometimes, a hoe never gets cold.
Halloween 2014, I was living in Maine, and
Girl.
my friend and I went to the Chuck, which was technically there was a hotel called the Charles Inn, and it had a bar on the first floor. It was technically called the Big Easy Lounge,
Oh,
but
okay, I get it. Yeah.
everybody just called it the Chuck
That's
of the
fun.
Charles Inn. So my friend and I, we were at the Chuck, and there was a guy who had the most amazing Rufio costume, and I got him to take a picture with me, and I can't find the picture anymore, and it makes me very sad. I was so excited, but I was
Oh,
like, oh my god, it was dead on.
I uncovered a picture of myself recently from Halloween when I was like 12 or 13. And there was this thing at one of the colleges near where I grew up where, like, the like students who were living there, like, you could trick or treat at like the townhouses that the students were living in. And that year I went as Lady Gaga in the bubble dress. And this was like peak that era of Gaga, and all the people handing out candy were college girls. I was famous that night. That is
See
one of
that?
my best Halloweens ever. I was crushing it. And my mom and I put the whole thing together like the night before. Like, I had like a blonde bob wig. I had these glasses that said like that were completely square and they said Gaga on them in the front. And then we bought like a white Under Armour just like long sleeve that was a bit big on me, and we sewed a bunch of plastic, like clear plastic Christmas ornaments to the front of it.
Mm.
And I would just wear like black leggings and boots. Genius. I will link that picture with this episode because the world needs to see this. So proud of myself. And I did almost no work. Like, I just sort of stood there and helped where I could.
I don't know why, but like all of my favorite Halloween costumes fit into the genre of just silly objects.
Love it.
Like like I want to be a piece of bread.
Dude, yes.
Just a piece of bread. That's it. Nothing fancy. Maybe I can be toast. I don't know.
One of the most creative Halloween costumes I ever saw as a kid was a tea bag,
Ooh, fun.
where they like had it was like wearing like one of those like sandwich board things, but
Yeah.
but it was like mesh netting on both sides and then scraps of like black fabric in it within the net. It was so good. It was genius.
Yeah.
And I think I saw that person with another person dressed up as a Rubik's cube.
Oh, I've seen that before.
It was great. I loved it.
A really fun costume to do is to dress up like a Borg from Star Trek.
Explain.
They're the Borg are they're not really a race, but
Oh, are they the cube things?
yeah, they live in a Borg cube. It looks sort of like a Rubik's cube, but full of just electronics. Uh, and they kidnap people from all over the universe, basically, and then they integrate cybernetic components into them, and they become one collective consciousness. And
Interesting.
so they become drones essentially, commanded by the Borg Queen.
All
But
right.
there's no like one Borg look, because they're all different, because they're all just like kind of cobbled together with different robot parts essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could really get anything that looks sort of robot partish and like put it on yourself, and you are a Borg.
That's pretty. I was yeah. Like anything else from Star Trek you would want to go as?
Oh man,
Those are pretty recognizable.
yeah. Oh yeah, there's so many things from Star Trek that would be fun to dress as. It could be like an Andorian, get you some blue antennae.
Hell yeah. Nice. Or even just like one of those really fancy, like, where they make like the actual cool, what is it? What's the one in Star Trek? It's Starfleet, right?
The that's like the academy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like get yourself like a really like an actual nice Starfleet uniform, not just like something that's like printed on the fabric.
Yeah, I mean they definitely sell those, and they get pricey.
Oh, I'm certain. Which is why I'm saying that'd be great if you didn't have to worry about money.
Yeah, that's why. And I think it's if I got one of those, like part of me, I kind of want one of the ones from the original series for the women that's like the mini skirt.
Dude, yes. Oh my god,
Wear
that's
like
such a
with it.
look.
Like it was one of those things for a long time. It bothered me because I was like, oh, it's sort of like sexist, but like there was actually a point where they had men wearing them too in the background.
Hell yeah.
They just never highlighted it, and I was like, oh, cool, so it's an option, you know?
And again, it's such a look.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's a bold fashion statement, and I respect it very much.
yeah. Yeah, that I could be like extra nerdy and wear a very specific uniform with a very specific like ship insignia, and then if people could guess which character I was, I'd just be
Nice.
make me very happy.
I absolutely, yeah, I could list random cosplay ideas endlessly, but let's move on.
Yes.
Um,
I want to be a sloth.
mhm.
How is that not a costume I have? I want to be a sloth.
Dude, come on.
I'm looking over at my friend here.
It's a combination of your two favorite creatures.
It doesn't work. I'm really mad because I bought it and like, where did I get this? Oh, near Lake George actually.
Mm,
And by the time I got it home and realized it didn't work, I was about to drive back out there. So
big sad.
yeah, very
I'm
depressing.
I'm very sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, I should really have a sloth costume.
You totally. Well, that's an easy one. You could just get a sloth onesie.
Yeah.
Those 100% have to exist.
I'm not typing Amazon into my computer right now.
I was about to say, why do you not already have one?
I didn't just do that.
Okay, well, don't do it. I need something to get you for Christmas.
Oh my god, it's an inflatable.
The other day, my mom told me that she bought one of those inflatable dinosaur costumes.
Then why isn't she just wearing it at all times?
I don't know. Beats me.
Huh. Here's one where it looks like a sloth just hanging onto your back.
Aww. I wish
That's
I was
fun,
a sloth.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna distracted now.
No, I absolutely love it. This one isn't necessarily Halloween specific, but it does involve vampires, which, like, Halloween vibes, so I'm gonna ask it today. And the question is, do we think that if a Jewish person was bitten by a vampire, they would still have to avoid crucifixes?
Yeah, I feel like that's an interesting question because doesn't the whole like vampires being repelled by a crucifix isn't based on the religion of the person who was turned into a vampire.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, it's like it comes from the like vampire mythology because it was written like in an extremely like Eurocentric, Judeo-Christian centric
Yeah.
location and time. But like it makes me think about now in like, our sort of globalized society, like are all religious symbols like a problem now for vampires?
The Star of David.
Yeah, like is that a problem? Regardless of whether or not the person who was turned into a vampire is one, religious at all, and two, what that religion might be.
Yeah, because like I feel like at this point either all religious symbols should repel vampires, just like a crucifix would, or cross really, because crucifix is the one that has Jesus actually on it. But
how did I not know that?
I don't know.
I went to Sunday school. What?
Yeah.
All right.
And usually a crucifix is only used in Catholicism. Most other denominations just use the cross without Jesus on it as the.
Yeah, we like to remind. They like to remind you of suffering.
Yeah, yeah. I went to Catholic school, so these are,
Catholic guilt, baby.
um, but so it's either that all religious symbols repel them similarly, or it would essentially be an indication that only one religion is quote unquote correct.
Which is fucked
Right.
up. Although I am
Yeah.
wondering if, let's say vampires are real. What if that got started because at the time, all of your, like, a lot of religious artifacts would be, like, silver?
And so you're saying silver repels them?
Yeah, like, I'm gonna take some of the vampire rules that were given as concrete fact for this little hypothetical that we're engaging in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the rules differ from place
And
to
they differ from
place.
place to place because, like, so many cultures have, like, a vampire, like,
Yeah.
myth, folktale story. But I'm kind of just taking mostly just, like, the Dracula one that has kind of seeped into pop culture.
See, when I think about vampires, I think about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh, that would be a fun costume.
There you go.
Um. Oh, I lost my train of thought for a second. Oh, I remember what it was, but this is not the moment for it. So, yeah, I mean, it's possible, but I mean, people use wooden crosses and stuff more often than not, I would think.
Yeah, so I guess it would have to be all or none.
Yeah. Although I was the thought that I had was I can't remember the name of it, but there's some sort of illness where people have a certain kind of deficiency. There's some sort of illness that they likely interpreted as vampirism, and that's where it came from. And I just can't remember what the illness is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, but I don't know what it is either.
Yeah, but it's like I can't even remember the specifics of it. Like it was like they had some sort of deficiency, and so they might actually be drawn to blood or something like that. I can't remember what it was. Oh, that's kind of driving me crazy. I have to do some googling. I don't even know how to Google that, but
Yeah, I got nothing for you there, bud.
the reason I bring that up is because like if that's the origin
Mm-hmm.
of why vampires came into the lore, then it's like it makes me wonder how then like a crucifix or a cross or whatever would have like made it into like
Yeah.
how that factors in
Yeah, that is a really good question. I can't say
or
I know.
still yeah I because I'd have to remember more about the thing that I don't
Mm,
remember.
yeah. I really want to get more into, like, just sort of the history of vampires in popular culture. Like, I haven't even seen, like, the Robert, or not Robert Eggers, that's the one that's coming out soon. But, like, the Werner Herzog version of Nosferatu, which is, like, one of the most, like, popular, more recent ones. Like, I haven't even seen that. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah, no, I mean there's a lot out there.
I haven't seen Interview with the Vampire. I need to get on these things.
Okay, never mind, I already found it.
What is it?
Porphyria.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the symptoms of people with porphyria: sensitivity to sunlight,
Okay.
extreme sensitivity leading to facial disfigurement, blackened skin, and hair growth. Right? So that's one. Fangs. In addition to facial disfigurement, repeated attacks of the disease causes the gums to recede, exposing the teeth, which then look like fangs.
Okay.
Blood drinking. Because the urine of persons with porphyria is dark red, folklore surmised that they were drinking blood. In fact, some physicians had recommended these patients drink blood to compensate for the defect in the red blood cells, but this recommendation was for animal blood.
Okay, I can see how that
It
makes
was more
sense to,
like,
like, ancient people. They're like, yeah, you're losing blood. Get some more in you.
yeah. Well, it is more likely that these patients who only went out after dark because of their sensitivity to sunlight were judged to be looking for blood, and their fangs led to talk folk tales about vampires. Um, Aversion to garlic. This is very deep. The
I've
sulfur content of garlic could lead to an attack of porphyria, leading to very acute pain.
This is fascinating.
Yeah. Reflections not seen in mirrors. I'm skimming. In the mythology, a vampire is not able to look in a mirror or cannot see its reflection. The facial disfigurement caused by porphyria becomes worse with time. Poor oxygenation leads to destruction of facial tissues and collapse of the facial structure. Patients understandably avoided mirrors.
This is
And then
fascinating.
finally, fear of the crucifix.
Okay.
During the Spanish Inquisition,
No one expects it.
600 vampires were reportedly burned at the stake. Some of these accused vampires were innocent sufferers of porphyria. Porphyria patients had good reason to fear the Christian faith and Christian symbols.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll link this because this is like super interesting if you want to do a little more research on your own time. But that's wild.
This is an article in Queen Gazette.
All right.
From tomorrow. Oh no, that's today's date. Wow, just today actually.
Oh wow, cool. Nice updated information for you.
Huh. For some reason, I thought today was the 18th, and I was like, how does that say October 9th?
Oops.
And then I just said Wednesday. I was like, wait, is today? Oh,
wait a minute. Yeah, no. We're doing great.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. That's very useful.
I dig it.
Huh. Yeah.
You and I have very differing opinions on whether or not it would be cool to be a vampire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we want to argue about this? It seems like the perfect day.
Well, I just want to point out that, like I said, if I remember what the illness was, that I might, there might be something relevant there as far as like the Christian iconography and all that.
Yes.
But it seems like it might be specific to Christianity, but not because it's correct or whatever, but specific to Christianity because Christians have persecuted peoples with porphyria. So that would be my answer.
Yeah, I feel like if vampires are real, we're definitely going to have to go with an all or nothing.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of vampire media, it has become that, like, oh, vampires are, like, unholy or whatever. So I feel like anything that's considered, like, sacred, I feel like it might have to be everything if we're keeping that rule in a universe where vampires do exist.
Yeah, because they can't, in some, like, books, movies, TV shows, they can't even go in graveyards because it's hallowed ground.
Oh, yeah. And that's supposed to be a thing with, and I think in a couple movies it's a thing with witches. Like, that's how they escape the witches in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I mean, because they, like, you know, they bless the graves and they do, you know.
Yeah. Those would be fun Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
Like, get, like, screen accurate the witches from Hocus Pocus. That'd be great.
The wigs alone.
Oh, I know. That'd be a fun time. Why don't you want to be a vampire?
You gotta kill people.
Kill assholes. Done.
I still don't want to kill people. You don't get to enjoy sunlight anymore.
Whatever.
You have to live forever, which sounds terrible because everybody you know will keep dying and you will get so bored.
But you're not the only vampire.
Yeah, but you would still get super tired of things. Like, I feel like even a lot of older people, like, that are in their, like, 90s or even past 100, so often they say things like, yeah, no, I'm done now. I'm ready.
Yeah,
they're just, like, over it.
But that's because you're, like, sitting there and you can't move anymore. Like, if you had eternity to go see everything cool in the world, hello?
Yeah, but even that would be tricky because, like, people are gonna start getting suspicious and not give you a passport.
Whatever, man. You can hypnotize them. You can work around this. You're a vampire.
You can't hypnotize literally everybody. Like, you know, every single person you meet, because there's always gonna be like witnesses. There's
Well, then my sexy and mysterious legend of immortality will follow me wherever I go.
I feel like logistically it is so much more difficult than movies and TV shows make it seem.
Don't care. I want what Laszlo and Nadja have.
I think it's also way more tedious.
Don't care.
Occasionally there will be something that depicts that a vampire is just being like bored and I'm done with this. I don't want to.
Lame.
I think I was
Weak.
so tired.
No, I want what Laszlo and Nadja have. They seem like they're having a great time. I want that.
You can do that without being undead.
Yeah, but it'd be more fun if I was.
No. Again, I keep coming back to the not killing thing, because like, what if your hunger overcomes you around somebody you actually like and you accidentally kill them? And plus, I feel like that would make you more callous over time, which very much is the case on What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want to become that kind of person. I would rather just be me and die me.
God, you're so well adjusted. It's lame.
Well, what do you want from me?
A little insanity every now and again.
I have my own brands of insanity. You have your insanity, I have mine.
How would you brand my insanity?
And like a brand name.
Or I don't know. Describe it. Describe what makes ours different. I'm fascinated to hear your take.
Well, like, so I'm talking like the kind of things that people call you insane for versus the kind of things people call me insane for. Like, you would probably be called insane for like your obsession with like certain TV shows and Broadway musicals and things like that, right?
Hell
Where
yeah.
you write your fan fiction, you do your cosplay, and people are like, you're crazy. People call me insane for doing things like 200-mile relay races and
Yeah, I do that a lot. I do that a lot.
Right? So I'm saying, like, we both have our crazy things. They're just different things.
Is it friendship if you don't bully each other? More at 8.
No, because it should be strong enough to bully each other.
Okay, never mind. We don't need to do more. Okay, and this is probably another one that's going to highlight the differences between us as people.
Yeah.
You ever seen a ghost?
It'd be great if you could have just played an actual clip.
That would have been great, but we probably would get a copyright strike, and I just got the content violation strike off of our channel.
For what?
Because in our last episode, we got a content strike for sexual content and nudity because we were talking about how another website no longer hosts NSFW content. So I had to appeal that.
That's insane. Okay,
Absolutely insane. But I did get it fixed.
Does that happen because somebody reports it or because...
No, I think the whatever
like,
algorithm they have flagged the fact that in the title of the hobby drama post I shared, there was a, like, part of the title was burning your porn stash.
Got it.
So I think that got us.
Yeah. A lot of things from that perspective.
But yeah.
Anyway, the question, I got distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty speedy with copyright violations too.
Mm-hmm.
For classic. No.
I haven't either. Do you want to?
I was gonna say, I think where we would differ is whether, well, maybe on that question, but on whether you think they exist and it's even possible to see one.
I can't say definitively whether or not I think they exist. I kind of subscribe to like a lot of the things that Henry Zabrowski from last podcast says, where it's like it might be something we don't understand about different dimensions, parallel universes, energies that we don't have the capacity to measure or kind of quantify with the, like, you know, perceptive abilities that we as humans have. So yeah, I think there might be something out there that maybe I would understand, perceive as, consider a ghost.
Yeah, I mean, all of that to an extent. There's so much stuff we just do
That's
not
my thing.
know.
I think it's incredibly arrogant of us to be like, we understand everything. Like, yeah, maybe there's some shit out there that we don't understand, and to our, from what we can perceive and what we can name based on, like, things in media, like, we have an idea of what a quote unquote ghost is based on, like, horror movies and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
We encounter some force that we don't understand and can only perceive in a certain capacity, and our minds would label that as a ghost because it's like poltergeist, or it's like like XYZ that we have seen in media.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, again, tons of stuff we don't know. I am reasonably confident there's got to be like alternate dimensions,
Oh
and
god, yeah.
the um the oh my gosh,
Parallel universes.
yeah, but like kind of the multiverse
Yeah.
theory and things like that. And so yeah, there's certainly things that we don't understand that our minds could interpret as ghosts. But at the same time, do I believe that those are people that previously lived in this universe? No.
All right, fair enough.
So there could be something we can interpret as ghosts, but I don't think it's a ghost in the sense of like the people who die come back as ghosts.
Interesting. I think it could be that it's not like the person who like died remaining here. It's like maybe they just like moved over one universe and they kind of just tap on the glass.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what happens after you die, but
So like that's my hot take, but yeah, you want to see a ghost?
I feel like I would only want to if it was like very clearly and definitively a ghost. Because like if I just saw some spooky thing and just spent my life wondering if I'd actually seen a ghost, I think that would haunt me.
Nice.
That wasn't even going to be an intentional pun, and I realized what I was about to say.
All right, pack it up. Podcast done. That's as good as we're getting. We've
But it
peaked.
would, 'cause you always be like, was that a ghost? Was my mind playing tricks on me? Did I imagine that?
What if you saw it
But
with
if
another person?
Sorry?
What if you were with another person?
And they also saw the same thing?
Yeah.
I think that would help. Because then you could, like, verify that you saw the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Corroborate.
I want to see a ghost. I want to see a ghost so bad. I am so open to the experience, and they will not reveal themselves to me because of it.
Yes, just like Henry.
Yep. Just like Henry.
Just want it too much.
I want it too much. We gotta get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
We gotta get him on the podcast. God, that'd be so much fun. Someday, we will do it. I am manifesting that for us right now.
By the way, I watched like an hour of The Blob.
Oh, fun. I'm watching that. By the time that this episode is out, we will have already discussed this movie, but I'm watching that tonight when we finish recording, after I scrub my makeup off.
Yeah, I gotta finish it when I can find more time later.
Love it.
It's only like an hour left. But I was like, I'm not gonna say anything until we discuss it tomorrow. But just when you watch it, tell me if you notice a character that looks like a skinny Henry Zabrowski.
Okay.
I feel like I get real vibes.
Oh, I don't think I ever told you this. When I was at the Red Sox game, this kid sitting in front of me, I swear to God, mini Marcus Parks. Just like this, like 10-year-old kid, just like tall, pale, skinny, gangly, in desperate need of braces.
Feet and hands too big for his
Yep, I was just like, someone shrank Marcus. And he's right here.
For jar pickles.
No, he was not. I love listening to old episodes of last podcast where he's referring to Carolina as pickle girlfriend, and I'm like, aw, that's your wife.
Yeah.
That's just so sweet.
It makes you feel like a time traveler. It's like, I know what's gonna happen.
It really does. But yeah, no. I am in the same boat as Henry Zabrowski. I am far too open to the experience, and the ghosts will not reveal themselves to me because of it.
Yeah, I figure if I'm just like very firm and like I don't believe in ghosts, I will never see a ghost. It'll be like one of the movies Because it always starts off with somebody who denies that their
What
existence
if
is like,
we
no,
go
there's
into
no way.
what if we go into a haunted house together, like a reportedly haunted location? Would our polar opposite views on the supernatural bring us to a middle ground where something might happen?
Hmm.
Our two energies.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that is
You'd be looking everywhere. Was that a ghost? And I'd be like, knock it off. It just sounds. And then
no, literally,
eventually,
this is the beginning of a horror movie, and then you're the one who gets eaten.
no. We got to bring a throwaway character for that. The red shirt, as it were.
Indeed. So we have to find like a dumb jock
Yeah.
that we can make go investigate. We're so
Yes.
mean.
What do I mean? These are horror movie tropes. We're just following the rules.
Actually, question: how would you rate your ability to survive a horror movie?
It would do pretty well.
I'd like to think I would do well because of the amount of horror movies I've watched.
Yeah, I mean that definitely factors in.
But
But
I
I
mean,
don't
if it's
know.
the world of the horror movie where those things don't exist and you don't know you're in a horror movie, I'm probably fucked.
I was gonna say we had just talked about that.
But like me
You
right
know?
now, like no change to like anything in my brain, I think I'd do like I think I could do okay. I
Yeah.
like to think I could do okay just with the amount of spooky movie watching that I've done. I like to think it would give me an advantage.
Yeah, the problem is though, like when most people get killed in horror movies, it's not like again you're given a warning, like it's a random noise, and you're like, "What was that?" And you think there's a 99.9% chance it was nothing, you know, and so you're not on your guard, and that's how you die,
This is true, and this
right?
is
So
the
it's not, yeah,
struggle.
you're just generally not given enough warning to
Mm.
take evasive action.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be in the context of I know I'm in a horror movie,
Oh, if I
because then
know
you
I'm
have,
in a horror movie, I'm golden.
yeah,
I've
then at
seen
least you
so
have a fighting
many.
chance.
I'll be doing great. I know all the things not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I know I'm in a horror movie, great. If not, I'm screwed. Like
Yeah.
my just like me as a person, I would be in so much trouble.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I think you would just like get get killed,
Oh,
just
I'd get
immediately.
I would probably be the first one to get murked.
Yeah, because I think all the time about like the number of times, because I've largely lived alone my adult life, and all the times I've heard a random noise in my home and thought, sure hope no one broke in here to kill me.
No, literally every time when Piper was still here, I would like kind of forget that she was here, and then I would hear like creaking, and I'd be like, and then
Mm-hmm.
she sidles up to me, and I'm like, oh my god, okay,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes I'll hear like a thud, and I'll be like, oh, it must have been one of the cats, and then I realize they're both sleeping nearby. Like,
that's terrifying. Don't like that.
yeah. At a certain point, I had myself convinced. There's like a crawl space, sort of like what would be the attic of my townhouse, and I had myself convinced that there was like somebody up there once.
What'd you do?
I mean, it was just squirrels.
But I mean, like in the moment, had you accepted your death?
Yeah, I was just like, well, I'm just gonna just keep on keeping on, and if they come
Okay,
out, I'll deal with that. But like the
we'll
way
deal with that when it happens.
well the way to get into my apartment from the crawl space is like there's a door in the ceiling of my bedroom closet. And so for that person to get down, they got to get past tons of boxes of stuff and my clothes and get out. They're going to make a ton of noise. There's no possible way not to.
This is very true.
You gotta
But
have a
that
warning.
is a wonderful bit of imagery for an actual horror movie. I'm gonna file that away for later use.
Yeah, I keep thinking about like, oh, some story about like people kept hearing sounds in their home and they didn't know where it was coming from. And it turned out there was like a transient living in their attic for like months or something.
I have heard stories like that before.
Yeah. So I just keep thinking, I was like, well, if there's somebody living up there, I guess they really need to, because who would want to live up there? So
Yeah,
just leave me alone. You're fine.
yeah. I swear there's one of those where like the people like it was like
Yeah.
someone who like lived alone and there was a transient like living in this person's crawl space, and then they just like became friends and are like roommates now.
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube who makes mostly like horror themed type videos.
Love it.
His name's Rob Gavigan, but I know he did like one of his like he calls them twisted tens, like a countdown of 10 things that talked about one of those cases, but it was like very specifically this guy had been living in their attic for months, and one day he came down and like attacked them.
Oh, that's terrifying.
That's what I was thinking about.
That's not what you want. No, I like the one where they just like are roommates now.
Yeah, no. So, you know, you never know what could happen.
Yeah,
Somebody
you know.
who chooses to live in a stranger's attic for that long may be unwell in some respect.
Possible, yeah.
That'd be pretty bold to.
No, that's a bold move, but also, you know, desperation.
Yeah. Be warmer, at least, than being outside in the winter.
Very true. Yeah. The ghosts will not reveal themselves to me.
No.
And I don't like it.
Who knows? Maybe someday. Yeah, you got many years ahead.
I know. I was in Salem and everything. At night.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Oh, but I'm going on a ghost tour of Albany, like a walking tour of Albany, where it's like, ooh, here's some haunted location, like here's some supposedly haunted. So maybe there's hope for me. Maybe this week.
Who knows? Maybe someday you'll eat like a bad burrito or something and hallucinate a ghost, and then you'll think it was real.
I'll take it. I will take it.
I'll finish that sentence while we're not recording.
Okay. Well, in that case, that does bring us to the end of our questions, though. So, perfect time to make a comment about no longer recording. Yay, donning the ears again for the outro. Thank you for fighting with us, friends. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we will be back again next week. I hope your Halloween is the absolute best. Enjoy the end of spooky season, everybody. Bye. This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly, Zach Calderon, and Dr. Sarah Brooks. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Follow us on Twitter at BridgetKelly98, at Zach Calderon, and at AndSarahSaid. Rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice. Like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, and join our Discord community using the links in the description. You can also help support us via the Acast supporter feature, or consider donating to our Patreon. Thanks for listening!